Hi, I'm Danny and these are my Diecast Disasters. In this video I'm going to be restoring and customizing an old Hot Wheels Ferrari Testarossa. Hot Wheels produced this model from 1987 until 1998. This particular example is a Colour Races one from 1989. So I'm guessing it would have changed colour. And Ferrari produced the real Testarossa from 1984 until 1996. Let's take a look at this one off the turntable. The odd pink sort of colour there. You can see the paint job's fairly chipped. You can see how thick it is on these colour changer cars. I've had some trouble taking the paint off these in the past. The tampo's a bit worn out there as well. It's got a nice metal base on it. Quite a solid little toy. And typically worn out sort of wheels and scuffed windscreen. So let's get it apart. It's got two posts that I'll drill out. And I can pull off the base and take it all apart. There we go, it's nice. This one's got the centres of the seats on a separate piece, so they'll be easy to paint a different colour. And there we go, now it's all taken apart. I can take the body there and apply some paint stripper. Now this is a time lapse over 10 minutes. You can see it's doing a good job of wrinkling up the paint there, so no problem removing it this time. There, look, it's coming off easily. So I give it a rinse under some water and this is how it's come out. Not much paint left on that, just a little in the low areas. Before I give that a clean up, I'm just going to take the wheels and axles off of the base here. I just cut most of the way through with my Dremel, and then I can snap off the wheel and pull the other one out from the other side. There we go. Now I can give both the castings a good clean up with the wire wheel on my rotary tool, and this will get rid of all of that oxidation and the paint that's still remaining on the body here. And here are the castings after burnishing, looking a bit cleaner and shinier. Now there's a few little things I want to fix up on this body before I paint it. First is these casting lines at the back here, they're pretty terrible. And there's also just a few rough spots here and there. There's that flaw in the side scoop there, but that seems to be in all of these Hot Wheels ones. It must just be a flaw in the mould, so I'm just going to leave that in there. So I'm using a needle file to remove the bulk of these casting lines here. And then I move on to some sandpaper and give the whole thing a bit of a rub down over all of the rough areas. I also drill and tap the posts so that I can put it back together with some screws later on. And so here is the body of our Testarossa after I've given it a good clean up, and it's ready to be painted. Now for some reason I've lost the footage of painting this thing, but it was painted black first and then red, and I've detailed it a bit there. Here are some little Ferrari badges that I've printed on some A4 paper, and there I've cut one out and stuck it on the bonnet. So moving on to the plastic parts. Here they are, the two interior parts. It's got the rear bumper sort of section there as well. This has the rear lights on it. And the windscreen. So I take these into the sink inside and give them a good wash with some hot soapy water. Here they are looking a bit cleaner. That windscreen almost looks good to go. It's a little bit scuffed though. So the rear bumper section here is also a bit scuffed. I give that a quick sand with some 2000 grit sandpaper just to smooth it off a little bit. Now that's looking a bit better. So I paint both of the pieces in black. And so this is the rear bumper and the centers of the seats. So this part I then painted red. There we go. Now it's got a red rear bumper and those red seats there. And I've also printed out some Testarossa license plates on some A4 paper. I cut one of these out and I'm just going to apply it using a little bit of PVA glue. And once this was nice and dry, I sealed it over with a couple of coats of gloss varnish. And I did the same thing to the body of the car. Moving on to the windscreen here. As I mentioned before, it's actually in pretty good condition, but it is a little bit scuffed here and there. So I'll give it a quick sand with some 2000 grit sandpaper. And then a good polish with some plastic polish. And this is how it came out. Looking nice and shiny. And finally for these old horrible wheels. At least I'm pretty sure they're the wheels that were on it. I've got quite a few old wheels lying around on my desk at the moment. I'm going to be replacing them with these aftermarket ones. So again, I know they're not proper Ferrari ones, but they're the closest sort of thing I had. And here we have all the parts of our Hot Wheels Ferrari Testarossa, refurbished, repainted, and ready to go back together. So while I'm reassembling it quickly in the background, let's just take a look back and be reminded of what we started with. Our very scruffy looking pink old Ferrari Testarossa from 1989. Plenty of big chips taken out of its thick paint job there. Worn out old wheels and a scuffed windscreen. But this is probably one of the most famous sports cars ever made. So it deserves to be looking a little bit better than this. And here it is, our finished Hot Wheels Ferrari Testarossa, restored and customised. It's had that old chipped pink paint job dissolved away and replaced with a nice proper Ferrari red one. It's had some detailing done, including a nice new Ferrari badge on the front there and a custom license plate. Those windows have been shined up and they're looking nice and clear. And of course it's got a nice new set of wheels on it. So I'm really happy with this one. I think it looks really cool in that red now. Definitely a lot smarter than it was looking. The rear wheels are really tight fit. But that's alright, it's not going to be rolling anywhere. And you can see inside where it's got those nice red seat centers. And yes, some Testarossas did have black interiors. So all in all, a cool little model, I thought. I've got another Testarossa coming up. It's a Matchbox one, and I'll be doing that Miami Vice style. So if you want to stay tuned for that, remember to subscribe and click the bell. And you can let me know what you think of this custom restoration in the comments down below. Before I go, I'll say a big thanks to everyone for the great comments and likes on my videos. Super special thanks to my awesome Patreon supporters. They help to support the channel. If you'd like to join them, you can check out the link to my Patreon page in the description below, along with a link where you can get 10% off Starbond super glues and accelerants. Thanks heaps for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, and subscribe for more similar content.